it's Alice and welcome to my A Coat Along Read Along wrap up. So, if you've been around for a little while, you'll know that I attempted to do something called a coat along. I worked out a schedule for when to read each of the books, and I made fancy schmancy graphics, and I made a Twitter page, and I announced it all, and I dressed full fancy for the announcement, and I was planning on reading all of these before A Court of Silver Flames was released. Now, A Court of Silver Flames came out yesterday, and how many of the books did I manage to get through? Just the one, which is embarrassing because I'd read A Court of Thorns and Roses before. So I've now successfully read this one twice. I've still read none of these. So I thought I'd just do a quick, why I'm still not convinced to carry on with this series, just to see if anybody out there can actually convince me to pick them up. Because I'm hearing all this hype about the new one, and I'm going on Instagram, and every single picture on Bookstagram is just the cover of A Court of Silver Flames. I pre-ordered the signed hardcover because I was so excited about it coming out, and I was like, I'm definitely going to be caught up, I'm definitely going to be interested in this series. And now it's here, and I'm still not. And I know that's really bad, but I'm just hoping that by putting this video up, someone will be able to be like, hey, get it together, you will love this series, just pick them up. So I'm going to give my spoilery thoughts on book one. So if you haven't read any of the A Court of Thorns and Roses series, then please flee. And then I'll tell you what I kind of know about the ones coming up and whether I think it's worthwhile. So, let's do this. Basically, in A Court of Thorns and Roses, it's meant to be a Beauty and the Beast retelling, but it's set in like the Fae realm. So at the beginning, you meet this girl called Feyre, and she kills a wolf because she wants the meat for her to feed her family, and she wants the skin to sell at the market. So she's like, cool, just gonna kill this wolf. She has like a bit of a wiggy feeling about it, but she's like, yeah, big wolf, big wolf, much bigger than most normal wolves, but I'm gonna kill it. So then fast forward a few days, and a man bursts down her door and is like, you killed my friend, he was a fae, and he shapeshifted into a wolf and you killed him, so because you killed him, you have to come live with me. And she's like, oh great, why did I kill that wolf? Fine, whatever, I'll go live with this guy. And he's like, I will provide for your family. And she's like, yeah, okay. Like, the only reason I was actually doing hunting was because I promised my dying mother that I would provide for the family after she was gone. So that's pretty much ticked that off of her bucket list. Let's go. So Feyre is swept away by Tamlin to the Summer Court? Spring Court? I've read this twice and I still can't remember. She gets swept off to Tamlin's house somewhere in Feyland, and he's all like, you can do painting and nothing else, don't leave the house. And she's like, cool, I'll just do painting. And then she's also falling in love with him, and it's like, I don't care that you have a mask attached to your face, I don't care that you only don't have a mask on your face when you are shapeshifted into this lion thing, you are so attractive to me. And he carries on to do like controlling things, and then this guy called Rhysand like swoops in and is like, I'm from the Night Court and my leader is like really pissed at you. And Tamlin's like, rah rah, get out, because he doesn't want Rhysand to know that Feyre's there and that he's got like a human in his grounds, because then Rhysand will want to like steal her himself. Court shenanigans. Then Feyre somehow, I don't really remember what happens. It's going well. So Feyre and Rhys like somehow make a bargain, because there's this bit when he like covers her in paint and is like, you can't get with anybody else because I'll know if the paint is smudged, I'll know that other people have been with you, and that's not cool. And then also Tamlin's equally controlling because he's like, you never leave the house ever. That's not cool. But yeah, she's like embroiled in this love triangle. And then there's like the big bad at the end, and the big bad gets killed, and it kind of leaves it in a position where you don't need to carry on with the rest of the series, because the big bad is gone and Feyre's now a fae, and yeah, I don't know why I gave this 5 stars the first time I read it. That's an unpopular opinion, but I don't know. I don't know if it was where it was in first person, but it felt really clunky, and I didn't enjoy it. And whereas the first time I read it, I managed to read it in like a couple of sittings, it took us over a month and a half and it nearly put me in a reading slump. Sean struggled to even get through this. Every time I was like, shall I read to us? He was like, no. Normally he's like, yes, straight away. Even if we're supposed to be doing other stuff, even if I'm supposed to be doing other productive stuff, even if he's in the middle of something, he's like, yes, please read to us. He loves it when I read to him. He loves most of the books that we read. This one, he was like, no, let's turn the radio up. Let's just listen to music in the car. So this gave Sean a personality transplant, and I just don't really feel inclined to carry on with the rest of them. Like, this one took us 6 weeks to read. I'd planned it to be a month, which so it's only got like 3 figures in it. And it was 419 pages, right? So a 419 page book for us normally would be 2 or 3 days at most. Especially when I'm not at work and when we're travelling, going on like journeys and stuff. That's when we do most of our reading. So this should have been a really quick read, but it wasn't. And then I look at the books that are still to come, with the exception of this one, because this one's a little novella. But like, these two are chunky. That one's 400 pages, and it took me like 6 weeks. This one's 620 pages, and this one's 700 pages. So 400 pages took me 6 weeks. I'm looking at like 3 months to read that. I could not spend 3 months to read a book that I was planning on reading in a month. But I think the main problem for me is that I just don't know what to expect out of the rest of the series. So all I really know is, spoilers now for the rest of it, Feyre and Rhysand end up together. And the reason I know that is not because of people going on about it or because of people talking about it on YouTube. It's because Faysand is like the thing that all of the book boxes include. Like, I've got a Faysand print. I've got a Faysand cushion cover. I've got a Faysand bag, I want to say. I've got loads and loads of Faysand stuff from Ellie McCrate, from Owl Crate over the years. So I know that they end up together. So obviously she realises that Tamlin is majorly controlling and is like, oh, even though we have really great sex, I don't really need him. But then also Rhysand seems really controlling as well. So it just makes me think, like, you're going from a bad guy to an also bad guy. And I don't feel any inclination to get on board with that. Like, if Rhysand had seemed really, really sweet, really, really nice, really kind, but I was getting bad vibes from him as well. Like, Tamlin seemed okay to start with. You can see the red flags. And I think, especially knowing that they don't end up together, the red flags are made more apparent. So I do think it's going to be an interesting look at controlling relationships and breaking out of that control and realising that that person isn't for you. It's going to be an interesting look at that, but does it need to be like 1,500, 600 plus pages of that? I don't think so. Like, I'm guessing it says like she will become a weapon, so there must be like a battle or a war or something actiony going on. She has a sword on this one. Gotta be some action going on. But all I hear about is the ship. And I don't really want to read this many pages just for a ship. And then again about the new one. Like, she was like, oh, this is Nessian's story. So that's Nesta, who is Feyre's sister, and Cassian, who I don't think we meet in the first book. But we know they end up together, and the A Court of Silver Flames is their story. But I don't know anything else about it. It's like 900 pages. Am I just going to be expecting like 900 pages of we are a couple and we have lots of sex, and also here's our friend that the other books are written about and they're also having lots of sex? Like, I don't get why people are this excited about it. And I think that's also what's putting me off. Like, I struggle to read hyped books anyway, because I often find they don't live up to the hype. I find myself disappointed and I don't really get it. And I think that's going to be the case with these, and I know that's not at all what you'd expect to hear on BookTube, because Sarah J Maas is basically everybody's favourite author, and I love Crescent City. I read House of Earth and Blood basically as soon as it came out, and I gave it 5 stars and I loved it, and I cannot wait to carry on with Bryson Hunt's story, because that really interests me. But this doesn't. So, I mean, the likelihood is that I will pick them up eventually. I'm interested in reading the popular books, and understanding what the hype is about, and I like reading something so that I can make up my own mind on it. I don't just want to be like, yeah, I read the first one and I didn't love it, so I'm not interested in the rest of the series, because that's not me. I'm one of those people that even if I hated the first book, I'll still read the rest of the series just in case it redeems itself, and 9 times out of 10 it doesn't, and I wish I'd given up, but I still carry on. The only thing that's really putting me off is how long these are, because the first one felt much longer than it needed to be, and that's the shortest book in the series. So if the other ones also feel longer than they need to be, and they are much longer than the first one, I dread to think how long it's going to take me to get through these, because like not only are they chunky, but like the font is pretty teeny tiny, and Sean isn't really interested in carrying on the series, and I thought it was going to be really easy to get through quickly because we'd be reading them together and he'd be really interested, and even if I wasn't as interested, his excitement would encourage me to keep picking it up, because that's what happens with some of our books. Like with what was it? It would have been The Dark Tower by Stephen King. I wasn't a huge fan of the first one, so I wasn't that excited about picking up the next one, but Sean was really, really excited because that was his favourite book in the series. So we picked it up and I really enjoyed the second one, and it was a really quick read, much faster than the first one. But that was because I had his excitement making me excited, and with him also not feeling excited about these, I think that's why I don't think they're the books for me. But I don't know. Basically what I'm here to say is A Coat Along went terribly. I will probably never attempt to run another read along because this one fell apart. Like, I didn't even read the first book when I was supposed to. I was like, oh, I'm behind schedule. Oops. Like, yeah, I'm so behind schedule that I'm still on November's read. And it's February. Oops. But yeah, if you can sum up what goes on in these books, other than just face hand and sex scenes, without giving too many spoilers, please do. Because if somebody could just give me some information about what this is about that isn't just the ship, I might feel more inclined to pick it up. I've heard people say that there's political intrigue between the courts, but never explain what kind of political intrigue. Like, of course there's political intrigue because there's different courts and they've got different motivations and they've got different allegiances, and there's going to be some kind of political intrigue between them, but I don't know what kind of machinations are going on. I don't know if there's like a big battle, I don't know if there's a war, and I just don't really know. I think that's the main problem. But like, yeah, if I knew more about this than just face hand, probably would have picked it up already, and I might have really loved it. But I think when I've got as many books as I have, and I've got a lot of books that I'm very, very excited to pick up because I know about the plot lines, because I know how fast paced they are, because I've already read a couple of books in the series and I'm already invested in the world. When there's one that I'm not invested in the world, I'm not invested in the characters, and I didn't like the writing style that much, it's really hard to motivate me to pick it up. So yeah, I'm just kind of asking for help, really. Somebody convince me to read these books, because I don't want to own all of them and the new one and not pick them up because that's a waste of time. But like, I pre-ordered this. This arrived 2 days before release day. This, I bought the day it came out. This, I bought the day it came out. And I read none of them. And I've got the new one in the post on its way to me. Should have been here yesterday. Thanks, Waterstones. But also thanks, Waterstones, I'm not caught up. So that would have just been another book trying to fall into the shelves. But like, pre-ordered them all, haven't read them, mostly because I used to be scared of big books, and I'm not scared of big books, but I'm still not interested, which is going to make me really unpopular. But also, like, yeah, just I failed my read along. I read this and I failed these, and I'm probably the worst booktuber that exists, but that's fine. I'll own it. I'll own it. I'll feel sad about it, but I'll own it. But yeah, so that was our A Coat Along wrap up, and my kind of thoughts about this series and whether I'm ever going to continue it and what I should do. I hope you enjoyed this video and that you don't hate me too much. If you do, I will completely understand, because it's probably just as much as I hate myself. If you liked this video, please like it, and if you'd like to subscribe, we'd be super duper grateful. We are edging ever closer to 100 subscribers, which is just wild, because we're aiming to get that by October, and it's February. So even if most of you decide to unfollow me because I'm not a huge Maths fan, it's fine, because I've still got time to try and hit my goals. But like, yeah, thank you for watching. Sorry I'm a massive disappointment. We post new videos every Tuesday, Thursday and Saturday, so if you pop back in a couple of days you will get Sean doing his thing. And we also will be announcing the winner of the Legendborn giveaway that we were doing on our January wrap up soon. The giveaway is already closed as this video has been uploaded, so we'll post an announcement of the winner in like a little YouTube shorts, and we will also comment on the comment of whoever wins. So make sure, if you are one of the lovely people who has entered that competition, to go back and check those comments and see if you've won, because you might have a copy of Legendborn coming on the way to you, and that's a wonderful book, so that would not be a bad thing. And yes, thank you for watching. Please don't hate me. See you next time.